This is My Baby Experts, and I am your host, Shari Criso, and here we are again for another amazing night at My Baby Experts with my favorite people in the world. I am here tonight with a very special guest. She is my co-host tonight. Okay, this is Miss Tammy Gold, and I am extremely excited to have you here. So
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. Welcome. Tammy is a therapist. She is a parenting coach. She is the founder of Gold Parent Coaching, and she's also a mom.
Yes.
Right?
Mom of 3.
And Tammy's here with us because so many of you guys have asked for months and months and months on, just to give you information, to do a show on how to introduce your older child, big brother, big sister, to a new baby coming into the family and all the challenges that can come with that, as well as challenges for yourself too of just dealing with the thought of having 2 or 3 or 4 children or twins or whatever is coming, and how to balance it, right? And how to balance it. So tonight I asked Tammy to come and be here because she happens to live in New Jersey. So many times my guests are remote and they're on the phone and I don't get a chance to actually have you here, so it's really great to have you sitting with me. And so let's move on to our topic, because honestly, I know that Tammy and I could probably go on for like forever. 2 hours or more, or 3 hours about this topic. So 10 hours, you're right, more like 10 hours. And from our own personal experience, from our professional experience, and I just know that this is a topic that you guys want to hear about. We have some amazing, Tammy really narrowed it down to tips, which I think is really the best way for us to go with like how to approach this topic. And then you guys asked a bunch of questions, and I really want to get to as many questions as we can tonight. So let's start. And I think one of the first things that you were mentioning that you want to talk about is like when to tell the child, like when's the best time. So you're expecting, and you're kind of like, do I tell them early, do I wait? And for multiple reasons, obviously.
You obviously want to wait until the baby's safe, so no less than 3 months.
Yes.
And really the best thing to do is to wait until the mom is showing.
Yes.
And, then you have to think what to do if you're an adoptive parent. And if it was an adoptive parent, you could show pictures of kind of the chronological pregnancy, maybe in the mother or another mother.
Yes.
But really when the baby can visualize, because if you look normal and say to someone, there's a baby in my stomach, it's really hard for them to understand.
They don't get the concept.
So 3, 4, 5 months even.
Or if they're like my children, they'll be like, how did it get there?
Right.
Yeah, and then you don't want them to ask that.
No.
Like, oh, well, it just did.
Right.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, that's another show.
That's a whole nother show, right? That's a whole nother show.
My daughter actually told me I was pregnant.
Oh, really?
Yes. She said, you have a baby in your belly. And she knew before I did. So some children are more intuitive.
Yeah,
than
she
others.
must be really intuitive. Yeah. She felt it. She totally felt it. That's awesome. All right, so let's the next question that some of the other things that we were talking about was ways to introduce your child to the new baby. What would be some of your top tips as far as like if you were going, once the baby's born,
what to do? Mm-hmm. And a great tip that I like to tell people is. It's very hard for children.
Just talk louder so they can hear you.
It's very hard for children to walk in. Maybe their grandmother or grandfather brings them to the hospital, and there they are with their 2 biggest people in the world, their mom and their dad, and they're looking at their mom and their dad and another baby, and it's like they're viewing their old family that's now a new family without them.
Yes.
So I always suggest that either mom is there and dad goes home and gets the sibling, and maybe you put the baby back in the nursery for a few minutes, and then collectively as a family you go and get the baby. And if they're really a little bit touchy about mom holding it, maybe dad can hold the baby, or grandma or grandpa, and you just be very relaxed. I know with my children, I put a little picture of the older siblings in the little isolette and a little gift. And, you recommend doing any connection that you can to say, look, the child already knows you as the big sister, knows you as the big brother. Look, they have your picture there. They've given you a little present. Any little thing. Obviously, you don't want to have a million presents. It's not about buying the love of a sibling, but just a little token to try to connect them and be very happy and relaxed, not really pushing it. But I also, really recommend mom's arms being free to hug and hold the new siblings, because sometimes it's hard if they want to run up and it's blocked by
I
the
remember
baby.
that, and and you forget that you've been away from them for a day or however long you're in labor. Yep. And your child misses you. Exactly, and they miss you, and they're wanting to, and then to walk into, that's such a great tip, to walk into the baby in mom's arms could be kind of devastating.
Right.
For a little one. So yeah, that's a really great tip. I actually have a picture of me first introducing Jade to her little sister.
Oh my God!
And everybody excuse the way I look because I delivered like an hour before that. I delivered an hour before that, and there's Jade, and her face says it all, doesn't it?
She's like looking. With
curiosity. She's just like, and the stickers all over her legs, and she was at Grandma's house, you could tell, and the big sister T-shirt on, and she was just like, oh, that's the baby.
Wonderment. I mean, the wonderment of what is this?
That face really shows it.
I have the great picture too. I should have brought it, and it has my 5-year-old at the time really looking like I get it, and then my 2-year-old looking like she's been like hit by a bus, like holding it like this, because the younger the child, either they're so young that they don't grasp it at all, or they're right at that cusp, but they know it's a big change and they're really scared by it. But the older children really get it, and that's really time to really verbalize what's going on with them. Verbalize that it's okay to be nervous and excited, scared, nervous, happy, and really you want to engage your child with open-ended question, asking what they think of the new baby, how are they feeling, and again, you don't want to push anything on this introduction. You want to make it very relaxed and casual, and
let the older child kind of guide what they want to do, so that if they're not overly excited, and sometimes we get so excited,
and you want to force it.
And you want to force them to be like, look, and aren't you happy? And they may not be.
You want to go play with like the stickers or the toys in the corner of the hospital,
and it's perfectly fine.
They may take a peek at the baby and walk away.
It may be very anticlimactic. Don't be disappointed if your child.
Some children cry. You can't take that. You have to visualize, like I was saying to you before, just like they don't go to college with passies or diapers, they're not going to have this reaction forever. They're going to bond. It's going to happen.
That's right.
So just relax, go with the flow for the first, really couple months of this.
We're totally into relaxing and going with the flow. That's our motto here is relax and go with the flow, because what else can you do?
Nothing.
You don't want to fight it. Let's show a picture of your beautiful little girls. Okay. She's got 3 girls. She's got 3. Look at this awesome picture. That is so cute.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh. How old are they?
So Braden is almost 6.
Yeah.
And Presley is the second biggest one, and she is 2 years, 8 months.
Aww.
And the little one in the middle is Gemma, and she's 8 months.
Oh my God.
And they are my little gaggle of chicks. They are.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah,
they are so cute. So cute. That's a beautiful picture. They're a beautiful picture. It's a beautiful picture. Yeah, girls are a handful.
Girls are a handful.
And beautiful.
Everyone has their own reaction to the baby. As I said, the bigger one loved it, and my middle one she would growl. She would walk up and go like, ah. And it was really so primal, because toddlers are babies. Like I would tell clients, I'd tell parents, this is a big baby with a diaper and a passy, and then a little baby with a diaper and a passy. A 2-year-old is really a baby, and it's hard for them.
It's so interesting. As you're saying that, I'm thinking back to when I had my second baby, and I know why I had put off having a third for, and putting it off, is she just always felt like such a baby to me. Like I couldn't imagine her introducing another baby into the family. It was just like with my older one, she was so, I could tell she would love to be a big sister. My little one, no,
they don't want to be. They want to be little. I remember even my oldest would say, I'm not the big sister. I'm not big.
They want to be little.
You can't push that. You just want to be relaxed. They are what they are.
You can't.
And it will come.
They're still doing it. Yeah.
The little one.
She still says, I'm the baby, right?
She's
7.
Baby.
She's my baby.
She's
the baby. Let's answer some questions.
Sure.
Let's do some questions?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. Let's do this first one here. We've got from Carmen in Virginia. Okay. Carmen says, my oldest is 23 months and my youngest is 7 months old. And she still has not adjusted to having a younger sister. I feel that she just does not like her at all, and it breaks my heart. Ooh, that's really sad. You feeling that way, right? She doesn't want to sit next to her. She doesn't want her anywhere around her, really. Sometimes she'll bring a toy, of course, a toy she really has no interest in, but at least it's this right start.
Right.
Any suggestions? Will she ever love her sister? Is the question.
And I saw that question, and it's heartbreaking. And you feel that devastation. You feel that, my God, I love these two beings so much. How can they not love each other? But a toddler is, in Freudian terms, pure primal id.
Yes.
They're like little animals.
Yes.
And they don't have that cognitive ability at that age of 23 months to even understand.
Yes.
They know now by the 7 months that the baby's not leaving.
Yes.
That they're not going back anywhere, that they're here to stay.
Yes.
And it has to take time. You know, people liken it to, you love your partner, and their partner takes another girlfriend or another boyfriend, and you have to sit and watch them canoodling and hugging, and they give the partner.
Put it like that.
Yeah, but it's true. But that's what you have to think in your head.
Yes.
And you're hugging and laughing and loving each other. People are coming to see the new partner.
Yes.
Giving it your old clothes, sometimes your old bed, your old passies, your old stuff.
Yes.
It's really devastating. And sometimes parents feel that devastation of they're never going to bond, and you push it. And there's nothing you can do. I can guarantee you, I think her name is Terry, right?
Carmen.
Carmen, I can guarantee you that they are going to get there. Just be more relaxed. You always want to model and verbalize for younger children, because I always say a toddler may get it on time 1, they may get it on time 50, they may get it on time 150. And you always want to say, it's okay, this is your sister, she's here, we love her, you'll love her. It's okay if you don't love her right now, but one day you'll be friends. One day you're going to play. If they love a favorite show like Barney, one day you two will watch Barney. If they love a favorite character like Cinderella, one day you two will watch Cinderella. Try to take the things that the child likes and have them visualize what the child is going to be one day. That baby's growing and this relationship is growing. And all you can do is do your part of telling what the future will be like and telling the child that it's going to be okay, but you can't force it. Actually, some parents get mad and they'll say things like, you're bad.
I think these are some of the don'ts that you said don't do, right?
These are all the don'ts. They're not bad. Again, if your partner brought someone else and was hugging and going crazy in front of you, would you be angry
and breastfeeding?
Yes, and connecting at that level. And sometimes breastfeeding alone knocks children for a loop. They're like, what is going on? And what a more visual attachment of this new person is here and is attached to me right now. And I'm feeding it. So there's so much going on. The parents are the sun and the moon and the stars for a child. And when a baby comes, their world is rocked. And that's not to say allow them to tear apart the house and have tantrums, but you have to give them that understanding
to really
of what
understand
they're feeling like, and that this is hard, and all you can do is talk about the positive. Don't focus on the negative. Whatever you didn't allow before,
and not all
don't allow
and
now.
all children are going to respond differently. Like some children, my children are 2.5 years apart, 2 years and 4 months, and Jade just loved her baby sister from the minute she came home. And you know, and I know that's not typical, and it's not all of them, and I was kind of prepared for both. I wasn't really sure. We did make some changes prior to the baby's arrival, you know, and I think that you talk about that in what we're going to go over in some of the don't do's. You know, like one of the things that we did was we had her move out of her crib and into a big girl bed.
That's fine, as long as you know, you want to give that. A lot of people do that because they, you know, who wants to buy 2 cribs? Now here it's 2 issues about ejecting them from the crib. One is a 2-year-old without a crib is hard, and if you're not going to do hardcore night training when you have a newborn who's crying all night, the 2-year-old again is going to run out of the room, run out of the crib, and that's going to be an added burden. If you could borrow a crib from somewhere, and if the child is not ready, don't push them out. See if you can get
she
a
was
friend.
climbing out, so it was time to get
climbing out. You can get these new things called wonder bumpers.
Nets.
Beyond the nets.
Oh, so they slide.
Wonder bumpers. They cover the bumper so you don't hit your head. They're not a bumper, so there's no SIDS factor, and they line the bars so they can't get traction and flip over. So the wonder bumpers are amazing.
Awesome.
But
Great
imagine
tip.
Again, so your partner brings this partner home, and you're thrown out of your one safe place. So originally your mom and your dad are your safe place in your little family, and now a new being comes in. Now it's not your safe place, and you're thrown out of your room. And maybe you have to give your binky away to the baby, and you have to give your bottle away to the baby. I mean, the baby is taking everything. It's no wonder that sometimes these toddlers go and attack the baby. There's so much rage to begin with. So sometimes you have to do that. So what we recommend is just do it as far away as possible.
One of the other things that we did, we did it like 6 months before, and then another thing that was really, really helpful, because Jade was in such a routine, having breastfed and then being with me and my only child at the time, of like every morning when she would wake up, she would come in bed and be with me.
Best time.
And lay with me, and it's the best thing, right? And what we started doing several months before I delivered was Joe would take her. Okay. And she would lay with Joe, and she would, and it was like she started to get. What I didn't want was that if there were times where I couldn't do that, that it would be the baby's fault. Right. So that she was starting to get accustomed to like we both do that with you, and that way when the baby came, it was sort of like a new routine. Children at that age forget pretty quickly, and it worked out really, really well.
I actually brought a little baby doll before my last daughter was born, and everywhere I brought Presley, my middle one, I brought this little baby doll and said, this is where the baby's going to be, and the baby's going to be sitting with us here, and the baby's going to be playing with us here, just to get that feeling of another creature.
Oh, that's such a good, like just spatially.
Yep,
spatially to feel like there's going to be somebody else
coming. Yeah. Even when you're out to hear,
no, they can't conceptualize.
We can't get it. I don't even understand that.
When you're pregnant with your first, you're like, what is it?
Like, they can't understand. They don't understand.
For sure.
So any little thing you can do to help is hugely helpful.
Awesome.
And also along that time when if you do have to move them, making this big girl room is a great, everything about this is positive, positive. So if you have to get rid of the crib, you have to get rid of the room, then again, do it as far as you can and do a huge celebration. If they love Cinderella, I went to Target and I got princess sheets and a princess poster. And again, it doesn't have to break the bank. You can do as little as you can, but changes that make this celebration of, look at this wonderful room.
Yes.
Forget the old room. That's the baby's room. That's the boring room. Look at this room. We get to paint it this color. We get to have this in it or that in it, and really make it this huge celebration. So basically,
it's like really about celebrating them, celebrating them as a big girl, a big boy, all the positives, bringing out all the positives, and then not being really attached to the response, and giving them space to respond however they want to respond.
Right. Some people will say, you always want to include them. Help me give the bottle, get the wipes for the diaper. Some kids are going to jump into it and they love doing it. Some don't. My daughter's 8 months, and just this week I took a picture of my middle one giving the bottle. Slow. I would love to have done her at month 1. That didn't happen. At month 8 it happened. But in the next minute she could be growling at her again.
Yeah, you never know.
You just take your time. It's going to get there. As they get older and really when they're mobile, that's when they become really good friends.
Yeah. One of the things that I can tell you from my experience again was when I was nursing my second daughter, I tried to make time, like special time, for not only for my older daughter, but I really wanted special time where all 3 of us were bonding together. And so you all know I love the Breast Friend pillow, and I used one of the Breast Friend pillows, and it was so stable that I was able to put the baby on the pillow, latch her on, use like a blanket to hold her there, and it gave me my hands free, and it became story time for my oldest daughter. And so every time I would go to feed the baby, she knew I was going to read her a story, and she would sit real close to me, and it was almost like we were both feeding the baby and reading together. And it was such an awesome bonding time for, not only for us, but she would, like when I would read, she would stroke the baby's head.
Oh, that is
and
so
it was just,
nice.
It was so nice because there was like this, she was included. She was included in the whole process. And I think that they really just don't want to feel left out. They don't want to feel left out. And I just remember that. I'll always remember that. It was awesome.
That is a great way. And again, if you're the mother that can do it, which is great. Some moms, I just had a client this week, she needs to be alone to breastfeed, to focus, and she uses videos. Videos are fine as long as they're not watching, crazy violence on TV. Use Letter Factory,
Elmo.
Use Elmo, use Barney Learns Their Shape so you can make it educational if you want. If you need a video or videos, use it.
I mean, I think that gets into just understanding that you are going to need your time with the baby. Just like you gave your time to your first child, you are going to have to give your undivided attention to this new baby as well. And then there's like the guilt that comes up from it. And, I know that a lot of people feel really guilty that they don't want to give any time to just the baby. And we have to be realistic.
You have to do both. And most people give to the older because, truthfully, the newborns don't know what's going on.
But there's times where you got to give to yourself, and you want to bond with the new one too.
You want to have the quiet time. So if there's older children, I always recommend around the 2s, there start to be drop-off programs. Again, you don't want to drop off the week you give birth. That's too sudden, too much transition. But doing something where it's one day a week before. And again, that's a beautiful time where this new baby has come in, but now this child has independence. They're going to school. They have little buddies at school. They have a teacher. They have a place to go. What's a lot of clients that I deal with, they have a toddler at home all day and they're home with the baby all day. And that can be really hard because, of course, the toddler wants to go out and play. And the mom may be having a hard day. We've all had hard days as moms. I know I've had them. When you're in your pajamas, you can't even brush your teeth, let alone take a toddler outside, even just outside to play. So getting friends to help you, bartering time, I'll take yours, you take mine. Getting support to keep the toddler busy will also decrease the resentment. Because they're going to be, if you keep saying, I can't go out because of the baby, then they're going to get more angry that they're trapped here and can't do the fun things. So maybe going to a music class and bringing everybody together, it's great for bonding, and it just keeps the children moving and keeps, the toddler in its old routine.
I think we started some preschool before the baby came.
That's great.
Just to like get her more social with other kids, to like
they
you
have
said, have
programs.
a teacher, have a place that was just hers, and then to not feel like we were sending her away now that the baby was here.
There are a lot of transitional programs where you go. I know with my child, when I was pregnant, I went with her until December, and then she went on her own. And again, it's a rite of passage, but they feel, instead of being home and like the third wheel watching baby feeding or bathing all day, they get to have this new experience, even if it's only 1 hour a week. So it can really make a positive change.
Something I just thought of, like when you first have the baby, a lot of people bring gifts for the baby. Right? And what would you say to like family and friends?
They
forget about the older child.
A lot of people, this is now a new thing, and I didn't even know about it until it really happened for myself. But everybody brought presents for the sisters, and that was just so terrific.
Because the baby doesn't know.
The baby doesn't know. And if you only have one to bring, maybe just get it for the older sister. It's a nice thing, and again, it does help during those times. And I know for me, and I tell clients, don't give them all at once. You can hide them in a closet, and when you're having a really hard
they're
time,
overwhelmed with too much at one time.
They're overwhelmed. They can't appreciate 20 things at once. Anyway, but when you have to give a bath or you have to nurse and something bad is happening, you can say, let's go take your big sister present, your big brother present, and open up, and that's a perfect time to do that.
It's awesome.
So those presents, they help.
They definitely
it's not buying the happiness, but again, it's about a celebration.
I was thinking like of just, that feeling of so many presents for the baby, even baby clothes, whatever.
Everything.
It's just the idea that it's all for the baby and the older
want to make
sibling.
It a celebration for everybody. The family's expanding.
Definitely.
And you're becoming bigger. And again, some children, there's a lot of regression when a child comes into the home. They go back to thumb sucking, they have accidents again, they wake up in the middle of the night. All of that's normal. It lasts a couple months. It will go away. You really don't want to react to it terribly negatively. So a lot of this words of big, you're big, you're big. Some of them don't like that. So it could be a celebration of another sister or another brother. You don't even have to say big. If you notice they're getting anxious or upset about it, forget that word. It's just we're celebrating because the family's bigger.
It's awesome.
Instead of the child.
It's a good way to approach it for sure. Let's do some more questions.
Sure.
Want to do more questions?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to look for something that we may not have answered yet. Let's see.
This one was with the...
Okay. This is from Tatum. Tatum is one of my local clients from New Jersey. Okay. She says, I'm a mom, 11 weeks, and I was wondering when the mom thing gets fun.
And I have to say,
it's all been work, no play so far, and I'd like to see a light at the end of the tunnel.
And I want to say, feel your pain.
We all feel your pain, Tatum.
And that's actually how I started my company.
Yeah.
My first child, actually all three of my children were colicky. They cried round the clock. The baby weight came off from rocking all day, all night. And you thought, like, when is this going to be fun? So this is going to be fun when really they can give to you instead of you give to them. They come home, some of them are not particularly great looking, they cry. There's not a lot of giving back, but when the smiles come and the interactive ability to see your face and the baby smiles or coos and laugh, then you'll see that light at the end of the tunnel. And I will tell you, you're almost there. 11 weeks.
You're right on the cusp, right?
It's like it comes home and then it dips down the first 8 to 10 weeks. 12 weeks, 16 weeks, it's a different world. And by 16,
it really is
17
such a
weeks,
different world.
You have a happy, and the reason...
Do you remember the feeling of, and I'm sure you're going through this right now, you have small babies, but I just remember every month going, this is the best age.
Right.
No,
Yes.
this is the best age. Every month they would get a little older. I'd be like, wait, no, this is the best age.
I always said that. I said that to my husband. He said, you said that about the other one. No, this is
because every age brings something.
But not in the beginning. I didn't say that was the best age.
Yeah.
I am not a good newborn mother.
Newborns,
They're an expert or a mom of 3. Not good with the newborns. Again, mine were colicky, and it's really hard.
Yeah.
So you just have to know that it's gonna get better, because really it's the neurological system is fully formed usually around 4 months.
Yes.
The digestive system, which is all that crying because of the gas or the inability to break down some of the proteins in the formula or the milk, that gets all settled at 4 months. They are a different baby. At 4 weeks to 4 months, it's night and day. And really, it's okay for moms. It's okay to say that and feel that. Again, one of the reasons why I opened the company was, as a new mom myself, I didn't feel that this was great and fun to have a baby crying 20 hours a day.
Yes.
I didn't feel that this was like the Pampers commercial at all.
Yes.
And it's okay to say that and voice that. That is terrific, because everybody has their own journey.
Yes.
Some people love it from day 1. Some people love it at day 100. It's about getting it out and knowing that it will get better and feeling whatever you feel that day. And if you need to watch TV, have friends over, read magazines, make yourself feel better to get by. But I promise you it will get better, and you're right on the cusp.
Yeah. She definitely is.
Yes.
And I know you are. I've seen you come in a couple times lately, and I know it's gotten so much better than it was. So I just keep looking out for more. It's coming. Let's talk a little bit about, I think we talked about regression before, right? But we'll talk a little bit more about it. Let's see. Yisora, I hope I'm saying this right. Yisora from New Jersey wants to know. She says she has a 2.5-year-old and is expecting another baby in 5 months.
Right.
My husband and I are concerned that his progress so far, like potty training, will be lost upon the arrival of the new baby. Do we have any suggestions for her?
So you're far enough out. The problem is a lot of people have babies exactly at the 2-year mark. And again, that's when all these changes come. Get rid of your bottle, get rid of your passy, get rid of diapers, get rid of your room. There's so much change. Now, I'm a big relaxed potty train expert. I really I'm around number 3, age 3, just really being relaxed about it, because the child has to have fine motor abilities, cognitive abilities. It has to have everything to work. So if the child is doing well at 2.5, and you're 5 months away, so you could try it, and if they're doing well, in a month or 2, you should be there, and you still have a couple months before the baby. But again, if it's becoming problematic, if they're having anxiety about the new baby coming, the potty training will come.
Yes.
If there's a couple steps back with the baby, there's always that in potty training. There's 5 great days, 1 accident day. 10 great days, 2 accident days. Just know that a lot of people have a lot of anxiety about potty training. They will be potty trained. And you can try it now, but then if it's getting close, a month or 2 toward the baby, drop it, let it go, pull-ups, whatever, accidents, whatever.
It's going to come back around again. Exactly.
I wouldn't do it, week 1. But month 1, when things are back to normal, you can always go back to it again.
Yeah. One other comment I want to make, too, is that so many of my clients and are following, they tandem nurse. So what will happen is, your new baby's coming, you're still breastfeeding the older one. That can sometimes be, difficult for a baby that's nursing to see another baby nursing at the same time. And it's totally doable. I mean, there's, and if anybody wants more information on that, I can definitely guide you in the right place. There's some really good books. The Adventures of Tandem Nursing is one of a very, very good book that you can read that will help you with nursing both a toddler and an infant. And then also the whole idea that sometimes you can have a child regress in the fact that they want to breastfeed again. Where they were done, and now the baby comes and they see it and they want to breastfeed.
They never breastfed and want to breastfeed.
Or they never breastfed and now they want to. But usually, what I suggest is let them taste it. I mean, it's okay. If you have a toddler and that toddler wants to do it, usually they're not going to like the taste of it. They probably will just go, oh, okay. And that kind of gets rid of the curiosity. But this no, it's not for you, is really probably not the best way to go with it. I think that a lot of toddlers will regress, especially with breastfeeding. I see that all the time. So, it's normal. And it's normal.
Any toddler you tell no, they're going to want yes. So the more relaxed and less boundaries, whatever I do with my toddlers, If I say no, they say yes.
Yes.
I say white,
Yes.
they say dark. That is just that control.
Exactly.
Thing.
So you kind of just go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow, right?
They're probably saying, yeah, lady, go with the flow. No, it's not go with the flow. Do the best that you can. Have your rules. Have structure.
Yep.
All of these things are very important.
Yeah.
But
See, they're
try
saying,
to
I
go
bet my daughter will regress with breastfeeding. And it's very possible. And then also, you know, it's possible that she won't. You think maybe she's going to because she's been such a avid nurser until this point. But children tend to, like, finish, they wean, and they move on. And so you really don't know till you're in that moment. But again, it's okay either way, and it's really, really normal. Like, I have people who are really concerned that the baby wants to breastfeed, the toddler wants to breastfeed, and it's all okay. And you know, this is done all over the world. Right. You know, this is a normal thing, so it's totally fine. Let's talk a little bit about, like, the whole idea of for parents, because this is a transition too. Like, we're talking about siblings,
right?
But what about, like, for yourself? You know, like bringing the baby home. I'll tell you, it was so hard. And I think that for any of you who are first-time moms, how many first-time moms do we have watching this right now? First moms. Either you're pregnant with your first or you have one baby. Yeah, a lot of first-time moms here. And you know, what I and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, is that I just couldn't imagine, even when I was pregnant with my second, that I could ever love another child.
Right.
As much as I love the child that I had, you know, like, and I had a hard time even verbalizing it because I had some guilt over, like, you know, am I really going to love this baby? I love this child more than life itself. And how am I ever going to show as much love?
This baby's the greatest, smartest. This one's
well, I really had concerns, and Talia, I hope you're not listening. I had really big concerns that Talia was not going to be cute. And if you ever saw Talia, it's like the big joke. It's the big joke. I was really worried that she was not going to be cute, and it was not so much that I wouldn't love her if she wasn't cute, but I thought, oh my God, she's going to live in the shadow of Jade. And that did not happen, I'll tell you, at all. They both have their own
every child has
sparkliness. They have both have their own sparkliness. But I remember just feeling like, how am I going to feel about this child? And, you know, dealing with that guilt or worry.
There's so much of that. And also mothers, how am I going to, right now, you know, I have so many clients who have one and they're completely overwhelmed. And how am I going to do this again?
Yeah.
So I always tell parents, you know, I coined this term like parental philosophy and parental plan. So your philosophy is, what is our views on if our second child doesn't love the first one, what are we going to do? What's our view? And then the plan is who's going to do what. During labor, we're going to do this. When the baby comes, you're going to go home and get the older sibling and bring them here. Then grandma and grandpa are going to help here. I'll do the nights. You'll do the mornings. You'll take to school. Just figure out. Otherwise, in the middle of the night, you know, what happens is baby's crying, parents are sleep deprived. What does that happen? Stress, fighting, tension, and that just stresses everybody out. So number one is to talk about the feelings that you're having with each other, the needs that each of you need. Dad may need, you know, I want to be able to come home from work and unwind for 10 minutes and then I'll help you with this. Mom may say, I need this, this, this. Figure out one thing you both need and one thing you can both do for each other. Get support. You know, a lot of times, unfortunately, the people don't have support. Family is really far away. Maybe you can have a babysitter. Again, there are a lot of friends that can barter with time, helping. Get the support you need. Don't be afraid to ask for help during those first couple of weeks, especially if you're C-section.
I think what you don't expect, especially when you're having your second or your third, I can't even imagine, but it's like when you have one baby, there's like two of you, so you can kind of take a break, and you're like, here, you take the baby, I'm going to take a break. Then you have your second.
There's no break.
There's just no break anymore.
There's three. There's no air.
Well, I hear when there's three, it's kind of like you just give up at that point.
They say like 1 to 2 is like 5, and 2 to 3 is like 100.
Exactly. Well, I just remember, like with 2, it was just like we always one of us always had a baby or a child,
and you have to figure out who's gonna go. And of course, sometimes you'll fight who's ever at the easier stage. You'll be like, I call, like whenever my husband and I pull in the garage, it's like, who do you got? I got the older, you got the younger, and so it's like, because it's whoever is easier. So why don't you trade off and take turns who's going to handle what? Or at the same token, handling both, because you may need, mom needs an hour, dad needs a half hour, whatever it is. Just make a plan and try to work with each other, because it can be really tough.
And I think that finding time for each other is extremely
huge.
It's like it can sound like, cliche, like make the time for each other.
You have to.
But you totally have to. You have to put some time and find a babysitter, find somebody who can watch, even for an hour.
Sitting with a couple
just to go out for coffee, go do something,
to be out of like mom mode, to change your clothes, to brush your teeth, to get out,
to go out with a purse instead of a diaper bag.
Yes, to go out and be human, because so much of, especially the work I do, is talking to moms about remembering who they are.
Yes.
Nurturing
your
love
of
reading, your love of writing, your love of volunteering, working out, whatever it is that makes you happy. You will be a better parent if you give to yourself. And again, it's easier said than done, because anyone who knows me will say, you never give to yourself. So I can talk it, not necessarily walk it. But I'm out here, I'm not with them.
That's right.
I love working.
And you do what you love.
You do what you love.
You do what you
have
love.
to do that.
Yes.
You will be a better parent to now 2 children if you give back to yourself, because it's like a cup. If you empty it all out, there's nothing left. You'll suffer, your relationship will suffer, and the children will suffer. So make plans, movie nights, babysitters. I tell parents, even if you're going through a really hard financial time, $10 for a couple hours with a babysitter, $10 an hour, $12 an hour. The value of what that really is like thousands of dollars. Find it, try to see where you can cut it elsewhere. Once a week, once other week.
And even if you're breastfeeding, you can pump, you can go out, or you can just do a smaller outing. Like a shorter outing where you're not gone very long. Feed the baby, and then go out for an hour and a half, and then come back. But you'll be shocked at just what that hour will do for you. Like
Tammy was saying, pedicures, manicures,
anything.
Anything. Going to like CVS and looking at shampoo bottles, whatever it is, just like get out.
Did anybody ever enjoy like food shopping as much as they did after they had a baby, where they could go by themselves?
Just wander.
Like anything without the baby for a little while felt good. Anything, and especially after having 2. And if you still are you have 1 child, one other recommendation I'm going to make to you before you have your second is to take a vacation with that 1 child. Okay, we had like some of the best trips when it was just Joe and Jade and I, because again there were 2 of us, 1 of her. When she was about,
have to do that. It's very important. Post baby, I do it with.
We did it. We did it when she was like 4 months old, and we had the most amazing vacation with Jade.
That's great.
And then when it came to having the second, it was a little bit harder.
And it doesn't have to be a vacation. It could be
just
literally.
A little trip.
I will say to my husband, let's take this one to the deli. Let's take this one to the library. Make sure the children understand they are going to get that time one-on-one with mom and dad. You can use it as a reward. I know with some families we put reward tickets in a jar, and they can pick out movie night with mom and dad, something that they know that life will be this big family, and they'll always have that little threesome that they had before, or twosome if you're a single parent. Whatever it was before can still be in this extended format.
It's fantastic. What great information!
Because I'm talking about the positives. Kids are great. I love my kids.
My audience can handle all of it, and we know that it's not all peaches and cream.
It's not all peaches and cream.
And I think that what's really important for you to hear from both of us and from all the awesome advice that's going on in the chat room right now is that we're all kind of doing this together. You're not alone. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, it's okay. It's overwhelming. It is overwhelming, and time does pass. And and the other thing too is if your child is showing anger or if your child is not reacting the way you want, remember, like Tammy said, it's rocking their world. Okay, and we all have siblings. And we survive. Okay.
And we're all friends.
And we survive it. And we're meant to have siblings, and we're meant to have more than 1 child. And we've all gone through this.
What could feel horrible today, they will probably end up being great friends, and this will all pass. All of the sleepless nights, all of that, and then you have this bigger family, which is just amazing. Imagine what you have now, this love of this one creature.
And your love doubles and triples.
It's
and
amazing.
That was I forgot to say that before. I was worried I wasn't going to love my second, and I couldn't understand how I could love another child as much as I did my first, and I thought I would have to split that love, and it just doubled.
It just grows.
It's just unbelievable. Tammy, thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. What an
Electric
awesome
game.
night. One more time, I just want to say thank you to my favorite people in the world, all of you, for giving us another amazing night of information and partying and just connectiveness, okay, of just connecting to each other and support. Ultimately, so much support going on, so much love going on.